Hey, this is Russ. Time to show you how I measure flexion. All right. Now, you might know that I've gone through 14 and a half months since my knee replacement. That happened September 19th, 2019. It's currently, December 10th, 2020. And I stopped my physical therapy right around the time they locked everyone down. So I would say that would be about March. Okay. Between that time of September and March, I did 80 physical therapy sessions. Yeah, I wasn't doing too well. I was measuring in the 70 something degree range, went in for an MUA a month later. They got me to about 90, although at the operating room, they got to 130. But afterwards, after I got out, I was only doing the 90s. So a month later, I decided I would go back in again for a second MUA. They got again to 130, but after the MUA, I was getting about 100. And after a lot of pushing and pain and 80 sessions, the therapist finally got me to 130 degrees after pushing hard and screaming. Okay. But realistically, when I pulled back on my own, unassisted, I was getting about 117 degrees on flexion. My extension still remains at about 8 to 10 degrees. So I may have gained a couple of degrees to maybe 8 degrees now with the help of my jazz unit, but it's still not the greatest. Okay. So anyways, Jazz gave me an extension unit to use again. I had a Jazz unit in December and January. I had to give it back after the rental period was over. But they contacted me and asked me if I was doing okay, and I told them what was happening, and they offered to send me the unit back to help on my extension. So they customized this thing specifically for extension. But I decided to measure myself for my flexion because I figured, well, it's been a while. I measured 117 on my own. I measured 130 under pushing. Where am I at now? So I measured it, 104. So that told me that I was going backwards. So then I kind of panicked. I said, oh no, this is not good. So I contacted Jazz and I says, look, my flexion is going backwards. Can I modify my unit and turn it into a flexion unit? Because it does extension and flexion. But they told me no, it's customized for extension for you. So what we decided to do is send me a second Jazz unit. I actually have 2 units. One customized for the extension, one customized for the flexion. And I will tell you that after I maxed out the flexion unit, they made a modification to a standard Jazz unit for me specifically to push me even further. Okay, so I'm pretty lucky. So I'm measuring it, and I'm going to show you where I'm at as of today. Okay, so this is the procedure that I do. Take a look at this. So I usually get on my recumbent bike, and the reason I do this is because it's the highest chair I have that I can sit and still bend my knee, for this measurement. So I look for the point of where my knee bends, okay? And I find where that is. Now, after I find it, I'll take a marker pen and just mark that area, all right? And then after that, I will simply lean in onto it, all right? So I try to push down as hard as I can on my own without pushing, to the point where I'm screaming, but essentially flexing as much as I can. And then I'll take a photograph of it, okay? I take that photograph and I put it onto my computer monitor. And so what I'm looking for is my ankle bone and also my hip joint, okay? I put a goniometer right at where I marked it with the pen, line up one arm to the ankle, and then line up the other one to where my hip bone would be, okay? And then whatever that comes out to be, that is the measurement that I get, okay? So, and I adjust it as best I can, and, unless I go totally naked here, you're not going to be able to see. So I got shorts on, so I'm telling you that's basically where it is. And if you look at the photo here, I'm at 120 degrees, okay? So I had hoped that I had gone a little bit further than 120 because I've been working this for a while now, but no, it's 120. I'm happy with 120. I'm okay with that. I think many of us, aspire to get at least 120, right? And if you can get more, that's great. And I've seen others who have done better than 120, all right? But 120, I think, is where most of the doctors and maybe therapists will say that you're doing okay. All right, they'll release you from physical therapy if you can hit that 120. So I'm glad to get it back. That's how I do it. Now, I left an affiliate link in the description below. So if you need to get a goniometer, that's one you can get off of Amazon. Okay, and I make a few pennies if you do that. So, anyways, I'm not interested really in that. I just put it in there because that's the one I bought. All right, it's about $7 plus shipping. I think you get free shipping if you buy things over $25 in the same order, something like that. But otherwise, it's a $7 unit. So I think you should get a goniometer. Okay, and do the same thing that I did. You know, find that center point. Take a photograph of it, and then put the photograph on a big monitor. My monitor is a 27-inch monitor, and then put the goniometer against the monitor. Okay, you want to keep your photo, essentially, you don't want it on an angle. You want to be perpendicular to where you're at. Okay, so everything needs to be lined up properly, and then take that photo. Line up the point that you marked on your knee. Put that center point there, put the one arm towards the ankle bone, put the other arm where your hip joint is. And I know most of you guys know how to do this because they're doing it for you at physical therapy, okay? Do the same thing as them. But again, you can't look down and see what you're doing. So take the photo and then put the photo on the computer monitor. And you'll get a pretty accurate measurement that way. Okay. Now you're going to be off a degree or two here or there because every time you take a measurement, even the physical therapists have said, we can't guarantee this is exactly perfect every time because there's variances, but it'll give you an idea of roughly where you're at. So even if I was between 115 to 125, that's still pretty decent, right? But I'm measuring 120, so I'm happy with that. Anyways, if you liked that video here, just go ahead and hit that like button and then hit the subscribe button too so you can see the new things that happen from me. And I will talk to you guys next time.